Welcome to Salsido Paranormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm sharing experiences, true paranormal stories from the web. As always, you can find all episodes of the show along with links to social media, ways to listen, and ways to support the show at the website, and that is salsidoparanormal.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.com. There are many ways to support the show. You can share the show with others and rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. You can also sign up for the Patreon feed and get extra content there for as little as $1 a month. And also check out the merchandise store and get all kinds of shirts and other items there with designs on them made by friends of the show. Support is never expected but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows. Also, please follow friends of the show. That would be Jen, the Arcane Observer, who is the co-host of the show on Saturdays when she is able, and has her own channel as well. And then Michael Strange of Trouble Minds Radio and the Trouble Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And that's where you can listen to all kinds of amazing shows as well as my own 24/7 online for free. So this is going to be a shorter show tonight, unfortunately. I am dealing with some teeth issues and dealing with them, but also it's slowing me down here and there, and so I'm not feeling up to a full hour and a half long show tonight. So I apologize for that in advance, but things are the way they are sometimes. So, but I'm working on getting everything fixed. It's just gonna take time. So, but I'll get through at least I'll get through 6 stories tonight. I figure that's a good. So still slightly longer than a regular show, but not too much longer. So let me get to the first one here. Thank you all for being here and listening in, whether you are here for the live stream or you listen on the podcast feed or YouTube. So this first one says, I was running last night, reaching my goal of 5 miles. I was pretty much done by 7:30 and heading back home. It was already dark outside by the time by 5:30, sorry. I walked past someone's driveway and I saw a shadow of what looked like a person. The shadow sprinted from one side of the small driveway and then completely disappeared before my eyes, almost like it ran through the other neighbor's house. At first, I was just wondering, what the heck was that? I didn't feel scared, sad, or anything like that. Just more shocked because I knew exactly what it was when I saw it. I can't explain how fast it was moving. And then it just vanished. It wasn't human. Has anyone seen anything like this? If anyone wants a little bit more context, my friend and neighbor passed away in October of 2017 in a really sad way that I witnessed. Sometimes I feel his uh, presence in the neighborhood when I'm running at night and in my dreams. It's a very safe, calming presence. The house I saw the shadow at is actually on the same street as his old house. I've never seen a ghost or shadow figures in my life. I thought maybe I did when I went to a historical haunted house. I can 100% say I've never seen anything until last night because that was 100% real. I told some friends and they didn't really say anything. What do you even say? I thought I'd post about it to get it off my chest. And that's where that one ends. Sounds like they saw a shadow figure. Um, and they may be sensitive to these things even if they don't realize it, possibly. Um, and I wonder Again, they said it wasn't human, but I wonder if that's just because of the shadow, or if that's a sense that they also got from the figure that it was giving off. And I think that's always hard to tell without more details. So I don't think, based on the description of their neighbor friend, I don't think it was them, because the writer there said they never get a bad feeling from the presence of their neighbor friend when they do sense them around. And this next one says, this happened back in 2018, and to this day, I still think about it way too often. My boyfriend and I were coming back from a friend's house late at night, around midnight. I want to make it really clear before I even start. We were 100% sober. No alcohol, no drugs, no lack of sleep. Just two regular people heading home after a normal night. At the time, my boyfriend and I didn't live together, so he was driving me home to my old place. The area I lived in was really heavily wooded with big trees everywhere. Barely any streetlights. To get to my street, you had to stop at a sign right next to the neighborhood playground, a fenced-in pool, and then a stretch of dark woods behind it. That stop sign ended up being the longest stop of my life. We pulled up to the sign and just sat there. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed movement. At first, I thought maybe it was someone walking near the playground, but when I turned to look, I honestly didn't know what I was seeing. There was something standing there, tall, like at least 8 feet tall. It looked like a person at first, but then I realized it had massive wings or some kind of flaps hanging from its arms. The wings weren't like bird feathers, more like leathery sheets that caught the wind weirdly. It was standing upright, kind of hunched like it didn't belong in its own body. It turned its head slightly, like it was looking toward the right side of the pool, and then started running. The way it moved was wrong. It was fast, like way faster than any human could run, and in one motion it leapt over the fence surrounding the pool. The whole thing looked effortless. It just cleared the fence and kept going until it disappeared into the woods. I froze. I didn't say a word. I didn't even breathe. Then, my boyfriend, hang on a second, there's something that's bothering me about this. There we go. My boyfriend, without me saying anything, spoke in the calmest but most terrified voice I've ever heard. He said, yes, I saw it too. That's when I knew it wasn't in my head. We both saw the same thing. After that, he slowly started driving. He dropped me off at my house, which unfortunately backed up to the woods. I could tell he didn't even want to walk me to the door, and honestly, I didn't blame him, but he did anyway. The entire time, we both kept glancing at the tree line, half expecting to see something standing there, watching. We didn't talk much that night after he left, but for days afterward, we kept bringing it up, trying to make sense of it. What was it? A person in a costume? Some kind of animal? Neither of us could come up with a single explanation that fit what we saw. To this day, no one believes us. Family and friends just laugh it off, or say we must have been tired or mistaken. But we know what we saw. It was real. Every time I drive near that intersection, even now, I get this awful sinking feeling, like something still lingers there. Whatever it was, I don't think it wanted to be seen. And that's where that one ends. And sounds like some kind of creature. I'm surprised. I wonder if it really had wings or if they were not wings and it just looked like it because it didn't fly. So I don't know with that one. Um, but yeah, that's an odd one there. Moving on to the next one here. This one says, after moving in, I immediately started sleeping with a large chef's knife on my bedside table because it isn't the best neighborhood. After about a week, my wife woke me up in the middle of the night, extremely alarmed, and told me she thought someone was downstairs because she kept hearing someone. I kept I left out of bed, grabbed the knife, and charged down the steps as fast and as loud as I could in an attempt to frighten the intruder, and also because I was forcing myself to be brave. I didn't find anything after thoroughly searching every room, closet, and the entire basement. Time goes by and we forgot about that night after anointing the house with holy water. And then one early morning, I woke up to go use the bathroom. When I left, I could hear my wife was in my stepdaughter's room, waking her up and telling her it's time for her to get in the shower. I went back to bed and lay down next to my wife, who never left the bed. I didn't think anything of it because I was half asleep. Later that day, my wife and stepdaughter were shocked when talking about it, and that's when I realized that it's almost as if my wife astral projected or something. We anointed the house again, and nothing major happened for a while. Until my friend, my wife, sorry everyone, I'm not 100% tonight. Until my wife heard heavy work boots marching up our stairs straight to our bedroom door, and then nothing. A week after that, I awoke around 3 a.m. and saw a tall figure standing in our doorway. I screamed. My wife woke up, and I pointed, and the figure was gone. Life went on until tonight, when my wife told me she used the bathroom in the middle of the night, and she heard me walk from the basement door through the kitchen, living room, and hallway, stop right outside the bathroom, and heard my voice start talking to our dog. But when she went back to bed, I was already dead asleep. There have been other incidents, but these are the main events. Has anyone here ever experienced an entity mimicking them or their loved ones? What should we do? And that's where that one ends. As far as what they should do, I don't know, but it sounds like there's some activity there, and I don't know if it's all mimic, if it's all. Um, it sounds like there might be a few different things possibly going on there. So yeah, I'm not sure with that one. Moving on to the next one here. This one says, this is kind of a long story, so I'll summarize. I have 20 acres out in southwest Texas in the mountains uh, by the Sierra Diablo mountain range. I used to be a regional trucker and absolutely love that area. So when the offer came up, I jumped on it. Anyway, I went out there a couple of years back, determined to stay out on my property at least one night. I had the most amazing fajitas of my life and burned some old dead cactus in my rock fire pit. It was beautiful with the sunset and the stars. It was like a dream come true. But at around sundown, I saw a black animal in the wash, hiding in the brush and trees, but it was kind of open range, so I just chalked it up to my neighbor's cows. But the thing was definitely eyeing me. I went on about my evening, had some wine in memory of some past relatives, watched the fire die down, and was just going to sleep in the truck that night. This is where things got weird. There's very little cell service out there. I had barely enough time to check the weather and make the back seat into a bed for the night. I covered the windows and fell asleep for a while when I suddenly woke up. My heart was racing and I had a horrible feeling. I tried to resist the urge, but I peeked out the window and saw a tall, dark gray figure on my neighbor's property, slowly heading in my direction. Before I knew it, I was seeing strange things out the back window, and soon, all around the truck. I finally decided I was done. I jumped in the driver's seat, tore all the blinds down, and turned on my bright lights. I saw something scurry out of the light. I tore out of there. A few miles back on the main road, I felt so defeated, driving to the lady in town for a room for the night. But the uh, the weirdest part of all was when I called the old owner to tell her about how everything was going with the property. She asked if I felt safe out there because a lot of people didn't feel safe. It's maybe a mile to the nearest person, and I'm a really big, naturally built guy in great shape. So to be scared of anything is out of character for me. The best part is that I'm going to be back there soon for vacation and fully plan on staying out there again. And that's where that one ends. I wonder if they mean they saw all kinds of figures surrounding the truck, because that is just wild. Or if it was more just movement, or again, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of possible cryptid or creature stories tonight, which I didn't plan, but that's how they lined up. So, two more left for the night. Thank you all for being understanding and dealing with the shorter show. This next one says, so on another post about why are ghosts scary and not funny, I presented S. We don't know if that is truly his name, but he responds to it positively. S is a friend. Here is a list of things S has done in the past. I remember this one now. This is a good one. He would open and shut the front door in the middle of the day and lock the door behind us if we thought we forgot. He is totally on my side in most arguments with the husband. He loves to blast Bryan Adams on the smart speaker and at odd times. My husband now hates Bryan Adams. He has hidden my kid's things if she was being a bratty teen. And no, not misplaced, hidden. When she came clean, the missing things appeared in the middle of her floor, neatly arranged. He once wingman so hard that it backfired. We had to explain that playing a song uh, when my husband and I were getting amorous was not helpful. He has 80s themed dance parties when we aren't home. He has thrown things at people he didn't like, and for good reason. He has jiggled the screen door as a prank to make us check. He has set off motion cameras in the house. Tonight, we were celebrating my husband's promotion with steaks and beer. He has worked so hard for this for years. As we were discussing it, and the husband was cooking the steaks, S decided it was party time. He started absolutely blasting Footloose at max volume, and we just dissolved into the giggles. We are currently allowing him control of the playlist as long as he agrees to keep down the volume. I love S. And that's where that one ends. And I know that may seem like it's probably fake, except there are things, there are experiences, you don't hear about them much, but there are cases of people, and whether it's spirits, we don't know for sure, but cohabiting and coexisting and getting along in places overall. And so um, it may just be that that's what's going on there. And I think that's really fascinating and a good example of the paranormal not having to be negative or evil or scary. So just wanted to share that one. One more for tonight, and then we'll be ending the show here. This one says, my dad has officially given me permission to share the stories of all his experiences. This one is about a possible Sasquatch encounter when he was camping with my great uncle and great aunt in North Dakota. When they arrived at this campground, they were warned by the rangers that there had been a lot of grizzly bear activity. They were actually sleeping in a station wagon and had put blankets around all the windows before they went to bed. Before they went to bed, my uncle and aunt sent my dad to collect firewood, and my dad said he was not happy about it because of the grizzly warnings. My dad said that the whole entire time he felt he was being watched by something in the woods, and that he shared this with my uncle and aunt. In the middle of the night, they were awoken by something picking up the station wagon and shaking it aggressively from side to side. Keep in mind that my dad has had a good amount of grizzly bear encounters before while camping in the Rocky Mountains, and has been chased by them before, so he knows what they sound like and behave like. He said that this thing made a noise like he's never heard any animal make before. He said it sounded like a stomach growl, but times 100. When they all, I lost my spot. Hang on. Okay. When they all heard the noise it made, they all looked at each other in disbelief. Not a single one of them attempted to pull back the blankets on the windows to look at what it was because they were frozen with fear. He said after it finished, they waited another hour before leaving the vehicle. And after, sorry, and behind the car and in the ditch, there was a large human looking footprint. He said that the heel part of the foot went more than 3 inches into the snow, so he knew that whatever it was super heavy. They then looked around and noticed that literally every single car, every single camper that was there the night before was gone. They were the only people left. Whatever happened there that night spooked that many people. On the way home, they hit up a shop in the area that had this poster asking for people to contact the person if they had experienced any personal Sasquatch encounters in the area. He later found out that this area was well known for Sasquatch sightings. He picked up a book in the shop and that showed what a Sasquatch footprint look like, and realized that's exactly what they saw. My aunt and uncle agreed with him. He said that's the moment it really hit him, and he became 100% sure that it was not a bear, but a Sasquatch that they witnessed. I've heard they don't like to be seen, so it's probably a good thing they didn't try to look at it. I'm sure curiosity would get the best of me, though, and that's where that one ends. And I've heard of that activity before in Bigfoot Sasquatch cases. People are in vehicles out in the middle of nowhere, and or in the camping area or whatever, and one end of their vehicle will be picked up and shaken, among other things. So that is not unheard of in those kinds of experiences. And I'm glad they sort of got some confirmation from a book. It's funny that there was a book in the area right on that topic. Makes me wonder how much was going on in that area. And so, yeah, sounds like it might have been an active area for that kind of activity. But that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all again, like I said, for um, bearing with me here as I do a shorter show. And I will talk to you all next time on Salsido Paranormal. Take care.